What's up, guys? It's Jules. Time for another stitch with me. I need a theme song, and I need an intro, and I need super slow-mo stitching with maybe explosions in the background or something, you know, something really cool. That'd be pretty funny. Oh, if only I knew how to do all that. That would be funny. Guys, I gotta show you something. You wanna see something cool? You know what this is? That is page 2 of Stormtrooper. So I got page 1 done. Whoop, I guess I could turn on a little light here. Here we go. Here's a little light. Hold on. Pull it in here. So finally got page 1 done. Gridded a little bit of page 2 and worked on it just a little bit, but not enough for me to feel good and enough to be done with it this week. So I thought, you know, let's just do this for the stitch with me. Let's get this, you know, let's get a little more progress done on it. I'm actually gonna hold on, screw the table. I'm a little disorganized. Super tired. Super tired. Today was honey extraction day. And honey extraction day, you'd think we were the ones that were producing the honey, as hard as it sometimes. Not hard, but just physically demanding sometimes. Oh, my arms are jelly. My arms are like jelly. Like, not like my jelly, but like jelly in general. Okay, I just gotta put my hair up a little bit more before we get started. Oi, it was an early morning. Oh, let me go over here. And honey is almost done filtering. I'm going to tell you all about that in a minute. Oh, man. Oh, stretch of vision. Stretch of vision. And I thought, maybe, why don't, if a couple of you guys have been like, I want to see how you grid. And so I'm like, okay, maybe I can throw this in at the beginning of this video. I know I have it on other videos. I need to grid a little bit more, so it's not that big of a deal. But I just want to get a few things organized. Organizationalized, but so because this I was like took it like a normal pen and I put it on the back of this, and then I lost it. I really lost it. I just threw it across the room. So this page is actually a little bit different, and I don't know why the designer did it this way, because it's like, really? Why did you do it this way? And what they did was, you know, most of these are 10 by 10 grids, so these each little square, so to speak, 10 across, 10 down, total 100 stitches per little gridded square. But for whatever reason, and I had forgotten when I first started working on the second page, but on the first page, everything is perfectly aligned like that, except for this last bit. And this last bit includes 1 stitch of the grid on the next page. So what I actually had to do was count over 9 and then make a line. What you can actually see that I've done, but the mistake that I made initially was wherever I was and I started, like I counted over to 10. And I thought, oh, well, that's where it should be. But nope, it's not 10. It should be at 9. And so so I went back through and redid the, let me just double check and make sure that is indeed, I'm doing that. So this is actually the proper, line here. So you can kind of ignore that one. So the next 10 start from this line over. 1, 2, and I don't always go like, you know, empty squares. Sometimes it's just easier to just take numbered squares, just because, or numbered colored in squares, stitch squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. So then this is definitely the next bit. And it was a little easier on the horizontal ones, because I already had stuff out here, so I didn't have to count, because when I did page 1, I just extended my lines out a little bit so I could just start right there with those other ones. So we're just gonna do that. I'm just gonna have to remember as I go down that that is the proper one. We'll go over one more square here, one more grid. So we got 1, 2, 3. And so I'm counting the actual, like, the fabric in the middle of the 4 little open dots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. And I gotta tell you, as I do this, this is painful for my eyeballs. I have my reading glasses on right now, and I still find this painful to do. Just, I don't know why, I have a hard time. Now, here's the thing. The gritting pen, I have 0 problems with marking my fabric. This stuff comes out like nothing. I mean, it's so easy to get out. So what you could do is you could just help yourself out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So theoretically, right there. Now, then what I'll do is I got to double check it. So then I'll start from the right and go back to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. All right. And then I'll just come up here and mark down through this. And that, now I could do the whole page, but I have chosen not to, primarily just because it's painful to my eyeballs sometimes to do this. But that's how I grid. I think in the past I've talked before about you could actually use like a ruler and actually, you know, jump in there and kind of measure how long it, you know, you could use a ruler to kind of, you know, guess, but it comes down to it. You want to make sure that you're counting the individual little squares. So, voila. Voila. So there's that. There that be. So, get a little stitching done here. We're going to do a little more stitching. Whew, I'm tired though, guys. I'm telling you, the honey extraction process is a physically demanding process. For those of you who may be new to the channel, my husband and I are beekeepers. That being said, my husband is a fantastic beekeeper, and I go along for the ride. He is the expert. He has taught me everything that I can possibly recall. Certainly not everything he knows, but as much as I can retain at any one time. And I'm his assistant, is literally how it goes. And he is amazing with that. We sadly have not so far gotten the kind of return on our honey efforts this year as, oh, sorry, I'm folding the page. I don't fold the page, but I need to be able to see this a little better. Oh man, everything is sore today. I'm sorry, guys. Kind of overdid it this past week, I think. We had Bears, big game. And then we had the Baker Mayfield drama on Thursday with the Browns. A bunch of days getting up this week at like 5:30. We did the crazy question and answer video early this week that went over spectacularly. You guys love that video, and I loved making it. So we're going to talk a bit about that too. And then, I mean, I went to bed last night. I went upstairs to bed at like 8:30. Might have been 8. Took a shower, cleaned the room up a little bit. And by the time I actually got into bed, I think it was like 8:45. And I ended up, I don't know what time it was. I slept all the way to about 6:30, which is definitely has turned into a sleeping in kind of situation for me. It's kind of funny in that regard, but uh-oh, I pulled my little tag right through. That's a good way to start. I haven't gotten a lot of stitching done today because we have been on the go since we got up this morning, really. My husband was cleaning, and he had to clean the, you know, basically, because we're talking that this is as organic of a process as it possibly can be. We're literally taking the honey frames, the honeycomb frames from the hives, and bringing them home, spitting out the honey, and we don't do anything to that honey. We basically pour the honey through like a cheesecloth strainer to pull out the bits of comb and things that may make their way into it, and that is it. It goes from that process, that filtered process, into the jars. So now let's rewind a little bit on this honey stuff. So here's the thing. We knew by about June, July that it was going to be a down year. Unless something dramatically changed, it was going to be a down year for our honey. And the reason for it is there just hasn't been a lot of moisture, especially in the area where our hives are. We did get some periodic rainstorms, and we'd have a day or two where there'd be a lot of rain, but then it might go 3 weeks again without raining. And we needed a consistent amount of moisture in order for anything to really happen with the honey. And so, I mean, the wildflowers won't grow. If the wildflowers don't grow, we don't have nectar. We don't have the ability of the bees to bring back substances needed to make honey. So what we got, we were very thankful for. And we still may get more. We're going to put a little video together about that. But we're hoping, I mean, what was different this year is because it's like the hives got a late start, or just they were slow. Let's just say that. They were slow. Because of that, when we went to look at a lot of the honey hives today, there was probably just as many frames of honey that there were some that the ones that we brought home are the ones that were like on both sides. And if you watch the video, you'll see what we're talking about. But the entire honeycomb of both sides was filled with capped honey, and that's honey that we can take. But there were also just as many, if not more, frames where there was honey on one side capped, but not the other. And we're not going to jump in and bring out, how do I say this? My husband explained it perfectly when we were doing the video, in which the honey in the honeycomb, there's a difference between it being capped and not capped. When it's capped, think of it as like a canning procedure. When it is done and ready, and the top of the can is on, and everything's pressurized and it's canned, that is the completed product that eventually you'll be able to eat. The canning process itself is not complete until you get that top on. And that's the same thing with the honey making process. The bees basically put all the ingredients needed into the honeycomb to make the honey. But part of the process is right before they'll cap it is they go in and they remove some of the liquid component of it. They kind of get it to a certain consistency, and it makes it, that's what gives it that super thick consistency and that super healthy taste to it. And so if it's not capped, it's not complete. And if you were to take that hive or take that frame and spin it down as if it was fine, you're mixing like your pure honey with honey that the bees wouldn't even use. It's not that it's bad honey, it's just that it's not completed honey. And so there were a fair number of frames that were like that. So what we're hoping for, we reckon we've got maybe a week left before the bees would probably stop trying to do anything with that. Mark's gonna, my husband Mark, he's gonna go down and try to see if next week he has to go back and put some things back with the hive and whatnot, but he's gonna go back down and pull them out, and maybe, just maybe, we might be able to get another 3, 4, 5 frames of honey, which right now I think we ended up with maybe we might have like 2 gallons. That may pull us up to maybe 3 gallons. I just did a massive tangle here. So, it's just a, this year was just a bit frustrating. It was a learning experience for us. We attempted to be more self-sufficient. We attempted to try to prevent the loss of hives, and in the process of preventing that, we may have kind of hurt a few of the hives a little bit, and kind of made them not be as strong as they might have been had we just left them alone. It's just really hard to say. I mean, we didn't know that when we went to try to do the hive split, we didn't know that it was going to be a rough year weather-wise. Had we known that, we probably would have left it alone. But anyway, if you want to know more about the bees, put a link up here to our bee channel. And we don't have a lot of videos up there as of yet, and part of it just because, it's still been kind of it's still something that we're sort of in the process of doing. it's getting started up, and as you can tell, we're very busy. There's a lot for us to do, and we really want to get the hive, you know, the channel going more. We want to get it more educational. We want to get all kinds of things going on there. But I think some dogs are going to be quarantined tonight because there's something going on. There's something going on out in the neighborhood or something somewhere. The dogs are just getting set off by every little thing today. I think, or maybe they're just mad they didn't get any honey. Maybe the bees are coming. Who knows? It's hard to say. But anyway, it's just, you know, it is a bit disappointing because, I mean, can't tell you how many hours that my husband spends in the research and in the, you know, the setting things up, checking on them. You know, there's just so much to do. And it's a lot of travel, and it's a lot of driving, and it can be exhausting for him. And it's disappointing that we just didn't get more of a haul this year, because we were kind of rely on the honey haul, the honey harvest, to provide some funds for the next year. Beekeeping, just so you know, can be quite expensive. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to become more self-sufficient with our setup, where we're at on the ranch. We've borrowed from those guys in the sense of trying to borrow and use like electric fences and batteries for the electric fence, just to keep the cows away from everything. And so we want to just start by actually putting stuff, getting our own stuff. But that's the cost. I mean, it's expensive. It's livestock fencing material, and you know, believe it or not, it's all pretty dang expensive. So, so we're still kind of trying to get that rolling and get that going, but it's coming along. And when we finally do kind of get it going, when it finally kicks in, hold on a second. Whoops. I had to restart the video twice there because I accidentally showed the pattern. Don't want to show the pattern. Try not to show the pattern. But anyway, so that's been today. When we did a video last year on all the extraction process, and we tried another video this year. It's going to be a lot shorter video, and part of it's just because we already have the one video out, and secondly, it's the haul is so much less. We were a little disappointed, so it's not as long of a video. But between in both of us, the physicality of the extraction process is such that we're both so tired. I'm looking at again like another 8 o'clock bedtime tonight. I swear, I just want to go to bed so bad. I was thinking about napping, but it's too late to nap in the day. And I'm not sleepy, I'm just tired. So, it's all good. It's all good. Alright, so that's the honeybee situation at hand. Let's talk about stitching, shall we? You're like, well, that's why I came here. Let's talk about the stitching. So, I am thrilled that you guys love so much. I got a ton of support on the question and answer session. Now, it was really long because you're talking like a month's worth of questions and things like that I just hadn't gotten to. As you can see, like, I sat there and talked about it, and if I had actually sat there and read it and then typed out instead of talked about it, I mean, it probably would have taken me at least twice as long to finish what I did, and to answer every single comment, instead of just saying, hey, I think it works better. Because I felt like in the past that, when you guys are asking questions, you may not necessarily realize that I've answered your question. Because I might not answer it in that first week. It might be a couple weeks later that I answer it. So if I do a video, I think you guys definitely will see that. It's just easier for me to do that sometimes. So, but the good thing is, for me and for probably you guys, the videos will be a lot shorter going forward. That one was really huge because I had so many questions. But, I wouldn't mind throwing a question and answer session out almost every week. Just at least as long as it seems like there's a demand for it, or a need for it. But I pulled something in my ribs. I just aggravated it. I think I did it when I was when we were up early this morning and we were loading up the car. We have this pine tree that has been going crazy here, and the pine tree itself is such that anyway, I had to, everything was growing down, kind of hitting the cars and stuff, and so I thought, well, today's a good day for me to get the trimmer thing and trim back some stuff. And I was kind of reaching up overhead, and I don't know what I did. Obviously, I overdid it, and I'm good at overdoing stuff, but so now it kind of intermittently kind of is a little bit of an intermittent, like, grabbing pain kind of thing. Oh yeah, I did get stung. I'll have to show you my leg at the end of this video, what my leg looks like. But normally I haven't visited the bees very often this year. The first couple of years we had them out there, I probably went with Mark like every other week or every third week I was going out with them to help stuff. But this year has just been more, you know, more stuff going on. I haven't been able to get out there as much. And so my what do you say, my safety routine is just a little, how do we say, lax. And I don't have a full body suit. I have a great picture of my husband in his like full body suit with his GoPro and everything, and he looks great. That I'll put on somewhere. I put it on the blog, and so it is on the blog. But I mean, you can't see his face or anything, but he looks really awesome, all decked out in the bee gear. But I don't have all that because I don't. It's kind of a waste to, you know, to buy that because I don't go down as much. So I usually just wear the big, the long sleeve jacket with the hood, and I have gloves. And then outside of that, usually jeans, you know, wearing jeans work really well. And what I do, the biggest thing you have to worry about is them getting around your ankles. And so what I normally do is I'll just wear a 1 or 2 pairs of thick socks, and then I'll just tuck my jeans inside of my socks so that there's plenty of space. Well, when we started messing with the bees today, I had not fixed my ankles. I had kind of left it loose, and they will find a way to get to your skin if possible. And we were like about halfway through, and all of a sudden I was like, there's a bee inside my jeans. There's a bee inside my jeans. And I'm like, I'm about to get stung. Like, I could just feel it. And then he did sting me, and I was just like, okay, that hurts. And then it kept hurting. They can only sting you once, but oh man, it was killing me. And so I almost ripped my jeans off. It would not have been smart to have ripped it off right in front of the rest of the bees. I would have been in big trouble. But I kind of got out of there really fast, because when a bee stings you, it releases like a pheromone type thing that will attract the other bees. It's like a smoke signal or a flare of some kind, like danger, danger, you know, get this person or get this thing. And so, but anyway, that was an issue there. And so anyway, so he got my pants and stung me really good. So I had to run over to the car, and I kind of pulled my pants down just to see. I had to get you have to get the little stinger out, because as long as the stinger is in, it still has some venom in it. It still hurts like crazy. And once you get it out, it will be able to start to kind of calm down. So I went back, you know, got redressed, but dressed more properly this time and protected my ankles and everything. And I took some Allegra, you know, it's some antihistamine to kind of help with reaction to the bee sting. You know, I didn't have any systemic, you know, reactions to it, which is good. You just never know if at some point you're going to get stung and it's going to be the one that gives you major issues. But I took an Allegra like as soon as we got back in the car, because we always carry Allegra now just to prevent against any more serious issues. And hold on, I'm just looking. 1, 2, 3. Gotta skip that one. And so I took one, and I think that really, really helped a lot. But by the time that we, you know, when I finally got home long enough to take my jeans off and look at my leg, I got like a nice little chunk of thickened swollen tissue on my leg. I'll have to show you. I'll have to take some more Allegra tonight and maybe some Benadryl. I should be fine tomorrow. And it only hurts when I touch it, so if just sitting here, it doesn't bother me at all. Oof. Except for what bothers me is my part of my ribs that I did something to. Oh, and as a reward for the honey extraction for lunch today, in the middle of, we brought all the honey home, put it in the house, let it kind of sit there and kind of rest, get the room temperature. We ran out and went to the barbecue, old school barbecue place today for some mac and cheese and some pulled pork. And oh my God, their mac and cheese is so good. Oh, so good. It's like the best ever. And so I'm just gonna block my arm here while I highlight a little bit. And so we got some of that stuff, but I'm doing all right. I'm just, like I said, I'm tired. It's not the antihistamine, it's just the physicality of the day. When you see the video of the honey extraction, you might be able to kind of see why there's a lot of churning, physical churning of the extractor to pull the honey out of the honeycomb. And I'm going to be really sore tomorrow because of that. That's okay. Anyway, back to stitching. So, got the video done, got the weekly update done. Ironically, I did the weekly update the night before I did the question and answer session. So it's kind of weird, but kind of weird. But we have all that going on. I do plan on making a list of all the fabric that I need to get from the stitching shop here real soon. And then going to get that. One other thing, people keep commenting on not my Stormtrooper, my Boba Fett project, and everybody's thinking that I'm not going to be able to fit that onto the fabric that I have. I double checked. I pulled out my pattern, and I am. At least I should be able to, unless I'm missing more pages than I realize. And maybe I am. Maybe I am. All right, I'm looking at the picture behind me, and I'm like, oh, maybe you guys are right. It's not that I want you guys to be right or wrong. I just don't want to have to start all over again. Oh, Lordy. But anyway, let's see. What am I doing? I'm going to pull some more of this out so I can use it. Let's see. What else have I done? So I got Stormtrooper page done. I worked more on Old World Map 2. I have not finished the page yet. It's slow going. I'm at that section where I just gotta find like all the little individual stitches. It's probably about 30 stitches, maybe more. I'm not sure, but I gotta work on that some more tamari, get that part done. And let's see, what else did I work on? I've worked on Rainy Waterloo Place. I'm getting closer to that page being done. Apothecary Shop, worked on a little bit of that. That just doesn't look very pretty, does it? It's okay. It'll get filled in. It'll look just fine. And what else? I'm thinking about it. Thursday just wasn't as stitcherific as I normally like for it to be. I had a lot going on that day, and I ended up, I don't know, I did so much. What did I do? I can't even remember now. There's been so much to do. That was long. Sorry. I'm sorry, man. But, let's see. All right, let's talk football for a minute. If I can possibly only talk about football for a minute. First of all, Bears. It was a good win. Defensive-led win. Our offense is still not there. I just don't know if the quarterback is the quarterback. I mean, there are certainly many other younger quarterbacks that I'm all about, such as Baker Mayfield playing for the Cleveland Browns. Now, my husband had to go upstairs at halftime of the Browns game and go to bed and get away from me because I was a complete crazy person. There's something about this guy that I just love. That I love his passion. I love that he's been an underdog. I love that everybody counts him out, and he just does it. He's just an amazing quarterback, and it's just unbelievable. And you know, they should have played him from day one. You know, some of the other rookies have been given like the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, and like, oh hey, here, go out there and go ahead. You're our future. We're gonna have you play now. And even though he outperformed, apparently during practice and certainly during preseason, outperformed the actual starter, they didn't have him. You know, they're like, well, we're not going to have you play. We got to have our offense needs our experienced veteran quarterback to, and he didn't even hardly get any practice reps. He was just, he got just not a lot of practice at all. And then, the first game of the season they tied. Had he played, they would have won. The second, they would be 3-0 right now if he'd been playing this whole time. But he got out on the field. The starter got hurt, and he had to come out. He had to come and play. They finally put him in the game with like a minute to go in the first half, and then he got to play the whole second half. And night and day between the way that team played under him versus the other guy, it just worked. And I'm yelling and hooting and hollering, and you thought that it was my favorite team of all time that was, about to win their first game in like 2 years or whatever. But it was something else, and it was extremely exciting. And that took up my Thursday. And then that even took up my Friday, because then on Friday I'm trying to explain to people why I think that guy is the greatest young quarterback of the last like 5-6 years. Anyway, a lot of Facebook conversations. It's just been busy, dudes. It's just been busy. I need another vacation. But I don't, I don't need a vacation. I just need for my Bears to win. I need for the Browns to do good. I started watching a show on Netflix the other day called The Dragon Prince. It's an animated show made by the same guys who did Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon version, the anime version. It's really good, funny, good story. Just everything's really good about it. And I am 7 episodes in on a 9-episode season, so I am almost done with everything that I can be watching on it. But I am excited about that. And then once I get done with that, I gotta find something else to watch. But I'm making some progress. I'm so excited. Making progress. Alright. Alright. Okay, here. Oh, that's where that went to. I had all these different colors, and I came up with them, and now I don't know where they are. Where did they go? Which way did they go? Okay, good. Trying to look at this and decide what color to be done next. I'm gonna do some more highlighting because apparently I didn't highlight one of the colors that I did. Well, that's not good. Gotta keep up with the times, man. Oh. I could use a hot soak. We don't have a good bathtub for that though. We have a small bathtub, and so when you go to like lay in it, it's like an old bathtub. It's not comfortable, and it doesn't. We gotta get a better bathtub someday. Someday, when I'm awfully dirty and sore. Anyway, so is that the right color? No. All right, we're gonna use some of this. I'm sitting here thinking there's other cross stitch stuff that I've done. Well, it'd be on my blog if I've done it, because usually, like, if I'm stitching on something for a while, I'll put it. Oh, I did some Reaper. I remember that. Wow. There's something out there, I swear. We have people who sometimes like to walk right behind our fence when they have the whole park. And that makes me mad. Because I'm just like, they're like, sorry. And I'm like, if you were really sorry, you wouldn't walk right behind my fence. So I've kind of gone away from the person that is like ultra vigilant with their dogs. Like, my dogs can't bark when they're outside. They just can't bark. I've gone from that to, yeah, you can bark if there's something out there. Because people need to know, not, I got an attack chihuahua. You ain't making it in my place. I got an attack chihuahua, man. What else has been going on, dudes? Oh man, I gotta tell you, and if you haven't heard, if you like your video games like I do, there's a video game studio that literally is just now closing. Like nobody knew they were in trouble, and then all of a sudden they're closing their doors and laying off a couple hundred people. Telltale Games, which they're a very unique gaming company. They did a whole, they do like a choose your own adventure kind of a thing, but their storytelling is absolutely out of this world. It is so good. My favorite, most people probably know them from, they do like a Walking Dead series. They're on like the 3rd season of it. And I played the first 2, and the first one was great. The second one I was like, I didn't really like the main character. But I think this 3rd one would have been amazing. But now it's not going to get finished because literally the studio is closing down about halfway through finishing this particular thing. So that's a huge bummer for those people that love those games. But my favorite one that they did, my favorite video game that they did was called The Wolf Among Us. And basically it's like the fairy tale land where like the big bad wolf and the pigs and the, you know, just all these different creatures all live together in this same thing. And the reality is it's the wolf that actually keeps the peace as the sort of the sheriff. And there's this something that happens and some of the characters are being killed, and he's got to kind of figure out what's going on before more people get killed. And it was just so well done. I mean, such a great story. And now there was going to be a sequel, and now there's not. So it's just sad. I think they said that ultimately it's just there weren't enough people buying the games anymore. And that's just unfortunate. I can't imagine that is a very cost intensive way to do games, because it just doesn't look like it. You know, the graphics are very two-dimensional, and yeah. So, but apparently that was the case. And I'll say it over and over again. It's unfortunate because it's kind of one of those things where maybe somebody might have came in and invested and said, okay, well, let's, I'll give you guys this amount of money, and we're going to figure out how to make this a profitable group. But now there's just, there's people out of work, and it's unfortunate. But I'd like to play more video games. I got 2 hands for this. I need those 2 hands usually to play games. And like I've said before, if I could figure out if I could just not sleep, also not have to go to work, but I don't know, I love work, I have to go to work. But something along those lines. This is just really coming together nicely already. I'm super, super happy about this. Fargo is going to get some serious discipline when I go downstairs. And there's that. had to take a little bit of a break there because I had to go put the little instigator, aka Fargo, had to go up for a while, which he's alright with. He loves to sleep in a confined area, and I think he needed a place to nap. I'm just going to say that. And I had to bring him in and put him downstairs to let him chill for a little bit, because it was just a bit... Whoa, that's why I can't see. I have my glasses to help me see far out, and I am struggling with them close, as I should be. Alright, anyway. Here we go. So yeah, so we're good there. It's all good. It's better now. Dogs are a lot quieter. Oh, but I think I finished this color actually, so we're going to just tie this off. It's all good. While I was downstairs. Oh, because then I had to go put the dog up. And then by the time I came back upstairs, the phone had died. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? And so I had to get a charger and whatnot and start plugging it in, give it a little time to charge. And then when I came back upstairs, I grabbed some of my Bella Soy silk, which I'm going to show you guys here shortly. And this is what I'm going to use for the Charity for All piece. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab that. And, you know, I'm going to just do something a little bit different with our Stitch With Me today. I'm going to take my glasses off here because I'm not a glasses person yet. I haven't gotten super adjusted to it. So, alright, so we got our Charity for All piece. So let's pop this baby open. Really nice, there we go. And we're going to just pull it out so we don't get much of a glare. We're going to look in the back and we're going to see that it asks for Bella Soy Silk by Crescent Colors, if you can get it. And I know I have some of it. I've got Espresso, so I have that one. And I have, oh, apparently I found my Weeks Dye Works whitewash, which don't ask me what that project was for. I'm sure I needed it for something, but, and then we've got butterscotch and grape juice. So the only thing I'm missing is creme de menthe, so that'll go on my list of things that I need to get. Well, you know what, I probably have creme de menthe downstairs. It just wasn't in that little section, but I'll double check and see. And if I were to look, let me just, here is, hold on a second. So here's a little bit more about that Eric Michaels bit, and let's just look here real quick. So the stitch count on this is 225 wide by 206 high, and which I already have my fabric. Is it downstairs? I thought I saw it up here. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I saw it downstairs. But anyway, I'm just looking at it. So, and it comes with this really nice, like, how-to. If you didn't, you know, if you wanted to shop directly from these people, you could. You know, it recommends you use a 36 count linen, which I'm pretty sure I got 36 count, which is going to require the magnifiers in order to really do anything there. Just looking at, man, I'll tell you what, I had the fabric. Maybe I have to be downstairs by mistake, but I'm just looking at, I got my symbols here. Let me pull up and just see if it's possible if I'm going to get started on this week. Because it's the big round, so I just need the espresso. And I have the espresso, wasn't that the one? Yeah, I have the brown bit. The brown bit. Awesome! Awesome! So, how do we stitch? Our model is stitched using 1 ply of silk over 2 threads of the 36 count linen. If you were losing, okay, so I'm using 36 count, so this will be one where I would use 1 strand at a time. And you can see how large, I mean, it's pretty large. So this is actually going to go quite a long way, I think, with this. So hopefully I won't need to buy a bunch more. I don't think I will, unless I do my typical thing where I lose it. But yeah, so kind of excited about that. All right, very cool. So, and that's the rough piece. So that's cool. They talk about how you can change the design up a little bit if you wanted to, you know, omitting the embellishments. I like the embellishments. I think it's gorgeous that way. I think it really helps. I love the fact that it has the, you know, who said it, and you know give it the context. What was it for? And I love these little motifs everywhere. I think they're beautiful. So, yeah, guys, can I start working on this week? I don't. Maybe. I really need you to sit down with a nice big long piece of paper and write out every project what I need to do. I'll get there. Gotta definitely get some strength together. Get some strength. I'm super happy. Oh, I just pulled my rib again. Oh, getting old stinks, man. Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna stop for now, guys. I wish I had done more tonight, but honestly, you guys can hear how tired I am. I know you can, but look at that. I'm so excited. Come here, Stormtrooper. I'm gonna pull you off the wall. Pull your framing off the wall here. Come here, you. Oh man. Oops. Pattern down. Pattern down. Looks like I'm gonna have to redo the wall because I just ripped the wall all up. Hold on, guys. Hang in there, people. We can do it. Alright, this is not bad because I can, well, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this all put together. So because we're up, we did this. I think that's kind of where we're at. So now we're into this section. So a lot of dark. It's gonna be really awesome. It's definitely gonna pop a lot more. You're gonna be able to see that there's something going on here. But super excited about that. I wanted to jump to apothecary shop real quick because I did double check this, and I think I mean, definitely what I was working on was the bottom page, and I feel like I have just started way too high up again on my fabric, but it's not a big deal. Ow. Oh, spasm, rib spasm. But everything looked pretty good. And then let's just do a little close-up of Old World Map 2, because we don't get to do that. We don't do that very often anymore. So let's go in close here. So I am like right here. I think there's that little funky design right there that I'm doing. So when I finish that page, the next bit, there's going to be a lot of bluish kind of stuff coming back in. It's so pretty, isn't it? It's just ridiculous, the design on that. It's absolutely insane. But a little bit different of a stitch with me this week. I'm a little talked out at the moment. I feel like I'm trying to get sick from everything today. We got sick last year when we did the honey extraction. We were sick for like a week after that. I'm not sure if it's the exposure to the honey or just the physicality or whatever it is that we do, but oh, it wears us out. I gotta be 100% ready for football tomorrow. So here's the other thing that I need to find. That's the other piece of the list. I need to find E Pluribus Unum. I gotta find some more. I know I've got like one more packet of that color, but I don't know where it is. So I need to make a list of to-dos. These are the things I need to find. These are the things I need to confirm. And that way, the next weekly update, I can let you guys know for sure kind of what's going on. You know what we might do is maybe we'll make that question and answer session more of an every other week kind of thing, like the first and the third week of the month sort of thing. I think you guys get a bit more value that way. I think so. I don't know. We'll see. And then we still have the other video series. As soon as I get the sports, hey, how about this? If you guys have made it to the end of this video, how about this for a name for the series that, you know, I'm going to show like everything. And there's probably a floss tube channel with this name, and if there is, then I may not use it. Probably shouldn't use it. But something like Every Stitch Counts or something like that. Or maybe I could go Stitch by Stitch, my Stitch by Stitch series or something like that. But I need to go back, find that video, tally everything up, let you guys, well, I got a big long to-do list for y'all, and for myself. So maybe we should do that. I'm going to do that while I get started uploading this video, get this thing out for y'all. And, I hope y'all are stitching. It's, what month is it? It's Stitch Timber. Stitch Ember. Stitch Ember. It's Stitch Ember. And so, but y'all have a great rest of your weekend and week. Thank you so much for everything that you do here for me, with me. I probably would sit here and talk to myself the entire time, but knowing that I'm talking to people who are listening and who will answer back is awesome. So I love that. Oh man, there's a gorgeous Malamute running through the park right now. That's awesome. But so anyway, so I know I'm showing this right now. I won't show this on the thumbnail, but I gotta find my stitch and stuff. Anyway, we're good. You guys have a great rest of your week. And ask your questions everywhere, and I will answer them soon. And we'll see what kind of trouble I can get to in this next week. I'll let you know how the rest of the honey stuff goes too. You guys have a great one. Check out the blog for updates, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.